Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Lizzie. Today we are going to be preparing groundnut soup and garri. And before we begin, I would like you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell. Okay, here I have my groundnut. I already fried it and peeled, but take note, I didn't peel everything. I left some of the peelings because I don't want the soup to be completely white. I want it to be kind of brownish, so that's why I left some of the peelings. So this is my fish that I'm going to be using, and I highly recommend, if you have to prepare groundnut soup, I recommend you use fish, fried fish for that matter. Even if you have to use your meat, your chicken, whatever, there has to be fried fish in it because fried fish gives it a particular taste. It's really good with fried fish. So this is my groundnut oil, that's my pepper, my crayfish, salt, my seasoning cubes. I used Maggi Janga, onion, tomatoes, my garri. I used 4 cups of garri. This is my vegetable, the bitter leaf, sweet bitter leaf. I washed it already. And this is my smoked fish. I omitted okra among the ingredients, so don't forget to add your okra. About 2 or 3 will be okay. Alright guys, now I'm washing my tomatoes that I'm going to use. Let me say this, right? Using tomato to prepare groundnut soup is completely optional. If you don't want to use tomatoes, then that's okay. But for me, I like using my tomatoes to prepare my groundnut soup. So yeah, I have to slice the tomatoes. I used seven tomatoes because it is small, but if you have bigger ones, you can use about 4 large tomatoes. That would be okay. So I'm going to slice this. Okay, I'm done with the tomatoes. Now it's time for me to slice my onion. I love slicing my onion in smaller sizes. I don't like when it's too big. So this is the size I like. Can you see? Okay, I'm done with the onion. Now it's time for me to grind my groundnuts. So I'm going to put it inside here, but I'm not going to put oil. I think I'm going to grind it 2 times or to blend it twice. Put some water. Okay, I'm done with the second round. So you can see it is well blended. I'm going to put in some water and rinse to make sure everything comes out of the blender. Last one. Okay. This is a fish I'm going to use, so now I need to salt the fish. Just a little bit of salt, about half teaspoon. And I'm going to put just half of this Maggi Janga in it. I don't need a lot of Maggi, just a little bit. And I have some mixtures of spices here. These my spices, I use it virtually all my meals. So here I'm going to use just a teaspoon of this, or almost a teaspoon, to season my fish. I'm going to mix. Put it here to the small and mix. to allow this to sit for at least 5 minutes so that by that time it will be well seasoned. Then we're going to fry. I'm going to turn in the groundnut oil that I'm going to use to fry the fish. I don't need a lot of oil, this is enough. So when the oil is hot, I'm going to start frying the fish in about 2 to 3 minutes time. While the oil is heating up, I'm going to grind my pepper and my crayfish. No, I want to do the traditional way of grinding my pepper and crayfish. I don't want to use the blender, so yeah. I love pepper. I love pepper, so that's why I'm putting a lot of pepper. So now I'm going to grind. My pepper is ready, and it seems like my oil is hot too. So we are going to remove this pepper, and I'll put the fish into the hot oil before we grind the crayfish. So my pepper is ready. Let's go now to put the fish. All right, let's fry the fish. I'm going to allow this to fry for at least 7 minutes on one side before I turn it on the other side. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to grind my crayfish. I love grinding pepper before my crayfish because when I grind the crayfish, it's going to take out all the remaining pepper on the stone. So the crayfish is ready, so I'm going to take it out and put in my bowl. My fish has been frying for the past 6 minutes on one side, so now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to allow this to cook for 6 minutes, and I'll take it out and put the remaining fish. The fish is ready, so I'm going to take it out. I'm taking my fish out. This is my poisson poulet, my smoked fish. I'm going to fix it and wash it. I'm going to make sure I take out all the bones. I don't like eating and there is bone in my meal. So I'm going to take out all the bones. And this skin, this dark skin, I take it out too. Take everything out. The reason I'm taking this out is because after your food is ready, when you're eating it, right, you discover that the skin, the dark skin is strong. So that's why I always take it out. Now it's time for us to start the cooking. So the groundnut oil I used to fry my fish, this is it in this pot. I already turned it in this pot. If you want to use fresh groundnut oil to cook, that's okay, but me, I'm going to use the one I used to fry the fish. So the first thing, I'm going to put in my chopped onion. Stir for 2 minutes. And remember, I'm cooking on high heat, so I'm going to fry this for 2 minutes. My tomatoes. So I'm going to fry this until the tomato becomes tender, or until it shrinks, until the tomato shrinks. While the tomato is cooking, I'm going to put in water for the garri on the fire. Still have to cook it for like 10 minutes. I'm going to add in my smoked fish into the tomato. It's cooking. I'm going to put in my seasoning cubes. This is part of the cube, the seasoning cube I use to season my fish. So I'm going to add it here, and this too. And salt. And stir. If you notice, you see that the tomato is shrinking. This will cook for 5 minutes, and I'm going to continue with the other ingredients. The tomato has been cooking for the past 10 minutes. So now, the next thing I'm going to put is my groundnuts. You see, I put water into the groundnut to make it lighter. So now I'm going to turn it inside my pot. And mix. Now I'm going to rinse this with some water and add into the pot. Just about 1.5 cups of water. Turn it inside the pot and stir. The next thing I'm going to put is my pepper. And stir. So I'm going to allow this to boil for at least 15 minutes before I put the remaining ingredients in it. But if it is too thick, because you know groundnut, it always becomes thick. So if it is too thick, I'm going to add a little bit of water. But for now, let's cook it and see if we will be needing some water or not. So 15 minutes, we're going to check the pot. Okay, now guys, this soup has been cooking for the past 15 minutes. As you can see, it is not too thick and not too light. It's just perfect. So now the next thing I'm going to add into the pot will be my okra. And please guys, I omitted okra among the ingredients at the beginning of the video. So there is okra in this my recipe. about let me just say 2 to 3 okra or 4 okra. It's just small, a little bit of okra. So I'm going to turn it inside. After the okra, I'm going to put in my vegetable, the bitter leaf. Put in my bitter leaf and my crayfish. Stir. Okay, right now you notice that because of the okra, the soup has become very thick. Wow. Completely normal. When you put okra into the soup, it becomes very thick because of the okra. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to add some water. 1 cup of water. If you notice that it is still very thick, like now it's still a little bit thick, so I'm going to add a little bit of water again, perhaps 1 cup, and cover it to cook. All right, that's enough. I'm going to cover it and allow it to cook for 5 minutes. Have you seen, guys? It's normal now, right? It's normal. But if you are somebody who likes your soup to be very light, you can go ahead and add some water. So I'm going to allow this to cook for 5 minutes. Okay, the water for the garri is ready. So now I'm going to put in my garri. I like to cook my garri on top of the fire. There are some people who like to do their garri out of the fire, but for me, I'll do it on the fire. As you can see, the water is small, so I'm going to add some hot water. And now the next thing I'm going to turn. I like to use the stick, the garri stick. It's difficult for me, so this is very easy. I use this to cook. Okay, I think this is ready. You can see it's not too strong and it is not too soft. It's just perfect. Close it. My soup has been cooking for the past 5 minutes. As you can see, it's okay. Not too thick, not too light. So now I'm going to taste it if the Maggi or the salt is okay in it. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to put in my fish. I'm going to allow this to cook one or 2 minutes and turn off the heat. My people, this soup has been cooking for the past 2 minutes, so I can confidently say it is ready. Everything is ready. Very ready. Look at this, guys. Look at this. OMG. I would like you guys to try this and tell me how it was. And I believe that when you do this, you're going to enjoy this. So now the soup is ready. I'm going to turn off the heat and serve the food to you all. Food is served, my people. I hope you enjoy taking part in this cooking, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on the post notification.